You're with Julian on the Brown Note and a review of the movie Ballerina, which has now hit streaming, which is part of the ongoing John Wick universe. I believe they made some dreadful TV show which was connected to it, which I think died a death. But this is the first movie-length analogous movie to the John Wick franchise, which I have raved about on this show. They did 4 films where the quality level was disturbingly high from Chad Stahelski, and the impetus behind it was Chad Stahelski was a stuntman and became a director and had these very stunt-heavy movies. This time, Len Wiseman is the director. I'm a big fan of the Underworld franchise. Maybe not the best films, but actually I do like them a lot, and the visual style that he brought to those movies is definitely on show here. So Stahelski, I imagine, is a producer in the background. By far the worst thing about this film is its story. It's so unbelievably done already. I think we've just had this wave of films since like the 90s when we had Nikita and Kill Bill and quite a few films, I mean even Leon the Professional, where a young girl in childhood has her family killed and ends up growing up being trained to be a ruthless assassin. There have been so many of them. And that's really the entirety of the plot here, and that's the biggest letdown in the whole endeavour, is that they couldn't have made it more interesting. I mean, when they had the first John Wick film, John Wick was retired, brought him back into the game, very, very old hat, very boring. But they did it because they killed his dog and stole his car, which was much more interesting as a motivational factor. Whereas here we get, at the start, Ana de Armas, this character, as a child, has been kidnapped by her father, trying to protect her from ever becoming part of this cult of killers. So there are 2 killer groups. There's the John Wick one, which is the ones with the hotels and so on, and then there's this other group, which is what Ana de Armas' character is from at the start, and the dad doesn't want her to grow up to be a contract killer, so he kidnaps her and they come after him, which includes Gabriel Byrne as the leader of the Hallstatt, which is the other group of assassins. And then she gets taken by he's having a wonderful late career, isn't he? Ian McShane, who has appeared in every John Wick film very prominently, and he basically takes the girl after they killed her father into his... I can't get my head around this bit. So he's saving her by making her a contract killer for them. It seems a little bit dodgy to me. Like, the dad wanted her to have a normal life. So Ian McShane rescues her and deposits her at childhood, where she grows up learning to be a ballerina and to be a contract killer. Not sure that's saving her that much. Might as well have not bothered. So she obviously becomes an adult, and she obviously encounters people that were from her past that she saw kill her dad. And she then ends up trying to pursue those people to this astonishing mountaintop village in the Alps somewhere, which is one of the most beautiful places. I don't know how much of it is CGI, but it is absolutely gorgeous. I should have looked up the location. So everything is fairly trite in regards to her, discovering going through her training, going through her first mission. The other thing that I've always had a problem with the John Wick films for is you've got one character, John Wick, who's an elite assassin, up against other characters who are elite assassins. But when they kill 100 of them, it could be me he's fighting. It kind of reduces everything down, and she's like a new contract killer, and she kills everyone. She kills all these super high level people over and over, like 20 people in a row, and it's reductive. I really like the fight that John Wick had with Common, the rapper, in I think John Wick 2 or 3, because it was one-on-one, and that made sense. But when you're killing 20 people in a row, it just becomes like a video game, and that's what happens here as well. The other part as well that I've loved Ana de Armas in her films. They kind of knew to what is special about her, which is this incredible sensuality and humanity to her characters, like in Blade Runner 2049 or whatever she's in. She's kind of neutered a bit here. She's not given enough to work with in the script at all, or in the story, which pads along to the inevitable climax. Other elements of, the actions, I think instead of reducing the amount of the body count in the action sequences in John Wick, one area they have succeeded is by making those body count 20-minute violent stretches incredibly imaginative. And that intermittently happens here, where some things happen in the course of those battles which are, top tier stuff. Not all of it, but some of it's very entertaining and well done and imaginative in the kills and in the fights and how everything happens. No one's particularly great. I mean, Angelica Houston shows up, I think, again, as Ruska Roma, the John Wick side of things, as the boss of that, is okay. Gabriel Byrne came across as very old here. Didn't really have much going for it. Lance Reddick, he died after this was made. No one really stands out. We do get John Wick in this film. So towards the end of the film, we do get John Wick, which does elevate things quite a lot. And the whole final battle, the visual element of the village in the mountains is spectacular. It's gorgeous. You just want to go and live there, really. It is a spectacular thing, but everything pads out in the way that you'd expect it to. So high quality. I thought Anna was okay, but I wouldn't say that I thought she was good. I wouldn't have thought. I think I've rated her in everything I've seen her in, just because she's got this spark about her. I mean, Marilyn was the last film I've seen her in where she was outstanding, but it's a bit perfunctory. There's not really much to the character or the story, which is a shame. Still, if you like this kind of film, it is top tier for that kind of film. So I will give Ballerina a pretty solid 7.5 out of 10.